Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka The Punisher, and in this video we're breaking down the brand new Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings trailer. Fing Fang Foom I Want You In My Room, as we're going to be going over all the Easter eggs, things you missed, and also discussing our thoughts on what could be happening in the movie. Some spoilers are in order, so if you don't want anything potentially ruined from the comics or what we've heard on the film, then I highly recommend you check out before I karate-size your ass. With that out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into our breakdown of the Shang-Chi trailer. Okay, so we start off with a shot of 5 of the 10 rings, and they're pretty much going to become the MacGuffin of the movie. In the source material, they were originally ones that you wore around your fingers, and each included a power on them that allowed the bearer to have a certain ability. This included things like mind control, liking the thumbs up button, shooting lightning, and even creating a fake reality. However, I kinda think that with this following so close to the Infinity Saga, that Marvel have decided to move away from them and do something completely different so that we don't just think it's like poetry, they rhyme. I haven't seen bangles this popping since Eternal Flame, god damn! Now I have thought about this a lot since the last trailer. I think that it would be cool if these bracelets turned out to be rings worn by dragons, and that would mean they could stay true to the source material whilst also changing it up for humans. In the trailer, we do see what may be Fing Fang Foom, however several people have come out and said that this is a different dragon. In the Funko Pop lineup, we know there is one called the Protector, so potentially this is a cousin of his. Might even be his dad, and then we get this thing where the dragon's dad's son hates him because he's been a drag on his life, and Shang-Chi also hates his dad too, which again is like poetry, they rhyme. Now we cut to the Ten Rings flag, which is something that has appeared in several MCU films already. Initially it showed up at the start of Iron Man, when Tony was apparently captured by the organization. However, them rings must allow you to retcon stuff, as this is what we now see. This also looks like it takes place in ancient China, and we know from the first trailer that we will get flashbacks to a big battle then. I kinda think that we will see a young Mandarin, and how he got those lovely bangles. Should call it the 10 bangles I have in that now. They could have potentially made him immortal, and this would explain how he's able to live for so long, creating this organization. However, he does want his son to prove that he's strong enough to carry them, and who knows, we may even get somewhat of an ego to him, in which he has had several children over the millennia that have all failed him. Again, it's sort of like poetry. I'll stop with that now. We know that Shang-Chi falls out with his father, and in order to be able to fight him, I think he will have to travel to this island to be taught by Michelle Yeoh's character, Jiang Nan. Now, we know from the first trailer that the pair fight, so it makes sense that this is the place he would level up at. In the new look, she seems to be controlling the elements and space around her, which will likely lead to Shang-Chi learning how to do the same. Though he's typically not a meta-human in the comics, there have been different interpretations where he's gained certain powers, and I think that they will probably be leaning into that with this scene, and of course the rings. There is another shot of the Mandarin controlling water in front of his son, so yeah, I think that's probably the most likely thing. Now next we hear that Shang-Chi is very much split down the middle between his mother and father. This clearly shows the conflict that he has as a person, and it'll be interesting to see as he wrestles with these aspects. She is likely what put him off becoming a bad guy, and I think that the island we see might even be related to her and her kingdom. Maybe his mother even took him to this island to hide him away from his dad, and when he arrived she potentially tried to stop him. We can catch a scene where the Mandarin is firing the 10 bangles at a woman in a woodland area, so potentially this is where he kills her. I'll stop calling them bangles as well. Now at one point we see her training him in a water room, and this could be her showing him how to master the elements, and it might be what leads to him having powers. We also know that he has an estranged sister in the film, so he could end up teaming up with her after realizing he'd rather be more like his mother than his dear old dad. Potentially his sister turned away from their father too, and this might be what made him lean so hard into pursuing Shang-Chi as the next in line. We see some of his training growing up, and also Death Dealer, who appears at his dad's side. Death Dealer does fight Shang-Chi at one point, so I'm guessing he's old as crap too, and who knows, maybe the Mandarin has the ability to pass on the immortality if that theory is indeed correct. However, it could just be a mantle that people wear depending on what version they go with, but either way, we do know that it's the same actor playing the main one. Now the Death Dealers appear in the trailer at several points fighting, and it seems like they may be the right hand of the villain. We also see the Ten Rings training room and can tell this from the markings on the floor. This is probably where they train the death dealers and test whether they can join the group. It's very Batman Begins-y, or rather the League of Assassins / Shadows, depending on what you read. Also, yeah, why did Batman, a dude who doesn't kill, join the League of Assassins? Never mind, we'll not go off on that tangent now. We learn that the Mandarin sends his best men after Shang-Chi to prove that they can't kill him, which will show how strong he is. This sort of ties back to the whole ego thing of testing his kids to see if they're worthy, and with such a big empire, he has to make sure they aren't Kylo Ren. Now next we cut to the fighting arena, which is a big part of the trailer, and here it has some really cool reveals. In the last one, everyone thought there was a Captain America shield hidden out there, but I actually think that it might have been the symbol for Madripoor, somewhere that we know is a safe haven for criminals. I would absolutely love it if this scene was set here, and it makes sense with the neon lights. You know those kids love those neon lights. Now, Madripoor is of course a fictional Asian country that's known for harboring criminals, and therefore it makes sense why the Abomination would be laying low there. In the trailer, we can also see that he's way closer to his comic book incarnation than he was originally, and perhaps he has mutated over the years and changed up, sort of in the same way that the Hulk started to look a lot more like Mark Ruffalo. I know a lot of that was down to the effects getting better, but it would be interesting to see if they brought that into the plot too. He has the gills and also some pants on. Yeah, he's rumoured to be in She-Hulk as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he's brought back into the MCU. Now we also know that the Thunderbolts, or rather an evil superhero team, is being formed by Val, aka Madam Hydra, who popped up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Interviews at the time of the finale with her also said she'll be showing up in Black Widow too, so it'll be interesting to see if she sort of becomes the Nick Fury for the bad guys. With Suicide Squad, I was always a big gutted that they didn't slot the villains into other DCEU movies beforehand, so that they could quote unquote Avengers the team together for a big bad guy movie. I felt that because Warner Brothers rushed Justice League that they should have taken their time forming the Suicide Squad, but looks like Marvel are doing what I would have preferred and slotting the villains into things before they form the group. Now we also see Wong, and I guess that the guy must be skint to be doing this. Man's wanted some of that Hulka burning fudge up close, and maybe he's broke after spending money on those tuna melts that contain 0% tuna. Say topical jokes at the channel, guys. Now, everyone said we were getting our first Asian superhero, but we had one all along when it comes to Wong. Now there is the possibility that this isn't him, but Benedict Wong and Simu Liu were caught hanging out whilst this was being filmed, so I think it's probably our number one superstar. Now we get more of the restaurant scene from the first trailer, namely the Mandarin kicking the crap out of a guy there, and this clearly shows his son firsthand the kind of man he is. Young Shang seems pretty shocked, and this probably planted the idea that his dad was a bad guy, and that he also hated wearing bangles. Now we learn that Shang tried to change his name and start a new life, and we see him on the run, but it's clear that his dear old daddy pursued him. Next we see some quick cuts including Razor Fist, a man with a razor for a fist, who we know from the behind the scenes stuff is a mercenary sent to hunt down Shang. Whether this happens before the reveal or not, we don't know, but it does look like this scene takes place in the same part of the film that the car chase does. Later on we catch him in the helicopter and at the snowy ice base that feels very James Bondy. There's also Shang taking part in the fighting tournament, and also yeah, I know I'm pronouncing it Shang, but that's actually what Kevin Feige said recently, so stop writing your comment. And also yeah, I know my voice sounds like crap, it's like 6 AM in the morning. Now we then get a shot of the Mandarin and his boy fighting and trying to pull the rings from one another. Kind of feel like they might introduce something like whoever is worthy and whoever's heart is true can wield the rings and pull them back. Now that's all the Easter eggs I spotted, and just as a sort of general review of the trailer, I have to say I really liked it. Weirdly, Simu Liu got a lot of backlash when the first trailer dropped, so they're clearly laying into the Tony Leung stuff a lot more here. But yeah, still a great trailer I thought. Martial art, it's always something I've been interested in, and I know from speaking to people behind the scenes that Black Widow has some brilliant action scenes in it, so I'm glad that Marvel is leaning heavily into doing this sort of thing. This is going to open up the door to a lot of different elements in the MCU, and Simu Liu definitely has quite a big career ahead of him if he nails this role. Kind of a shame they can't really play up his part and are having to lean into others, as he's obviously the main character, and this movie needs to do well in China to make Marvel continue down this path. Expect some pandering with the Mandarin, I think. I don't know, I just said that because it rhymes. But it's not like this channel is good, so I doubt you're surprised. Now, the trailer is also packed with tons of references to the comics too, so I think it's really going to be something special, and I can't wait to see what comes next as we start to ramp up the marketing for it. Now, I have heard that Marvel actually have the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer and poster ready, but that they're focusing on this film, Black Widow and Loki first before putting anything out there. This means it might be as late as the end of July / start of August before we get a first look at that. But I'm kind of hoping that Sony just step in and say, hey, we need to promote this. Because there's no way, Holmes, I'm waiting another couple of months for that trailer. I want it now. Either way, this was a good one, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry, it's so early here, and I'm just so tired. Now, obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, so make sure you comment below and let me know. As a thank you for interacting with the video, you'll be entered into a prize drawn the 30th of June, in which we're giving away 3 copies of the Phase 3 MCU box set. All you have to do to be on the chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the trailer. The winners of last month's competition are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter at Heavy Spoilers. If you want to watch another trailer breakdown that's a lot better than this one, then check out our one for Loki episode 4, which will be linked on screen right now. Some cool little images in it and definitely a lot of things to take, so definitely go and give it a watch, and I'll love you forever. With that out of the way, thank you for sitting through the video. I've been Paul. I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.